Good morning, everybody, and a happy Monday morning to you. My goodness, there's a lot going on. Of course, we have the working royals. Princess Anne has been out and about. Of course, we have updates on the Andrew saga, as well as Sarah, because she finally poked her head up and now we know where she's been, along with our Harry Meghan stuff. And a lot of the Harry Meghan stuff is kind of intertwined in the middle of all of this. So there's just a lot, as usual. So let's just jump in and get busy, shall we? Let's go. We're going to start off with Princess Anne, who was at Abraham Moon and Sons. And she is president, just so you know, of the UK Fashion and Textile Association. And she went to a mill in Yorkshire. Princess Anne toured the site, met team members. She met people who do dyeing, spinning, weaving, and finishing. And she gained some insight into the craftsmanship and technical expertise that is required in the manufacturing process. This visit really reflected the importance, according to the company, of domestic manufacturing, skilled employment, and ongoing relevance of natural fibers in contemporary design and production. Now, this took place on the 19th. She also unveiled a plaque at the end. She looked absolutely gorgeous doing everything. Now, on the same day, the 19th, while Andrew was being arrested, Princess Anne continued on with her visits, including a visit to the HM Prison Leeds, which is a Category B men's prison, in her role as patron of the Butler's Trust. So, yeah, again, she should continue on with everything she had planned. The next day, on the 21st, Princess Anne went and visited Baby Basics. They assist 1 in every 120 babies born in the UK, providing a Moses basket starter pack that has things like clothing, blankets, toiletries, diapers, that sort of thing. Next up, we have Princess Catherine. She is the cover girl for Majesty magazine for March. Love it. All right, let's move on. To Andrew. The British government, believe it or not, is talking about removing him from the line of succession to the throne after his arrest. So in order to do that, they have to introduce legislation which would prevent him from ever becoming king. Now, let's be honest, he'll never be king anyway, but I think they just want to get him off of the line completely. Now, if this legislation is introduced, it will come after the police investigation is concluded. So he still remains in the line of succession, even though he's lost all of his royal titles, all of his royal honors. He's lost his public role. He's no longer a prince. He still remains, however, 8th behind Harry's children, who, by the way, in my opinion, should not be in the line of succession either. I'll keep an eye on this and I'll update you as it progresses. Let's continue. People should know that they're saying, by the way, the British public will not be paying for Andrew's legal bills. Andrew is going to have to pay for his own legal representation, that the financial burden will not fall on the public purse. I don't understand why it would, but they're saying it's unclear where the household will find the money. Some saying, that King Charles will not contribute. So maybe he'll use his pension. A big thank you to this Twitter user for pointing out that Andrew was arrested on his 66th birthday. There were apparently 6 officers there, and it happened 666 days after this happened. Freaky. Now, as far as Sarah goes, she has been laying really low because people are getting really upset over her ties to Jeffrey Epstein. And supposedly she spent some time with friends in the French Alps and then she moved on to the UAE. However, Sarah apparently believes that everyone is out to get her. I mean, her friends are reporting that she sounds in a bad way. She's telling people that she's really suffering with her mental health, and that she's going to look to the UAE to make money because she has to make some money somehow. Of course, I'm sure the police are going to want to talk to her at some point. She's going to have to put her head above water. But what's being said is that to make money, her idea is to do speaking jobs, like Harry. Harry thought he was going to make $1 million a speech. He's making $50,000 a speech. Sarah seems to think that she'll make $150,000 to $200,000 a speech. I got to be honest, I just don't think that's going to happen. I don't think anybody wants anything to do with her. She's toxic. I just don't see how anybody's going to want to spend any money to hear anything that she has to say, especially since she's been proven a liar. Do you guys know that in the past, she was on a talk show and she was asked about Virginia Giuffre and the allegations? Here's what she said.
It's from a woman who says that between 1999 and 2002, when she was underage, she was forced to have sex with Prince Andrew on several occasions. What was your reaction when you heard that?
Well, knowing him as I know him, and he's one of the greatest men I've ever met in my life, and my best friend, and great father to my children, I just thought, I don't understand in this day and age how people can make salacious lies up. This is defamation of character of a person that is the opposite to how he's being portrayed.
I have to tell you, this article right here, oh my God, it pointed out that Sarah is mired in the same financial and housing crisis, and she's in the same boat as many single mothers that are drug addicted living on council estates, only with better connections. And as for her daughters, it was pointed out that they have maximized their royal position to their own advantage, unafraid to live big lives of pampered luxury without asking too many questions about where the funds were coming from. And along the way, neither daughter has achieved much in the way of personal accomplishment. Their most noteworthy moment coming when they both sported headgear at Catherine and William's wedding. While the girls are reported to have nice manners, you expect that from women who were privately educated and marinated in privilege and afforded the very best of everything, from homes to holidays and opportunities and trust funds, while not really accomplishing anything in their personal lives. Of course, with the arrest of their father, it's being reported that they're struggling, they're heartbroken, and now they're having to reassess their family's position, which is causing a significant amount of emotional strain. Reassess their position? Yes, I would think so, because obviously they're going to be taken down right along with their parents. I mean, remember the king was trying to protect them, and now it's being said they're in crisis talks with the king to try to figure out what they should do. I don't think the king can protect them. I find it interesting they talk about the impeccable manners, because these girls in the past have been really rude to Princess Catherine. Her first Christmas at Sandringham after her wedding with William, she wasn't allowed to be there before the wedding. And Princess Eugenie came down the stairs and essentially bumped into Catherine. And if looks could kill, look at Catherine. Oh, in case you didn't see it, let me show it to you just a little bit closer up. And what was Eugenie doing? I don't even know at this point. But Catherine ignored her and walked over to meet the crowds that were waiting, who were quite happy to see her, I might add. And Eugenie is not the only one, because previously at Ascot, Catherine, William, and Beatrice were in a carriage together, and they're saying that Beatrice was really being kind of nasty towards Catherine. Even Neil Sean commented on what was going on with the girls and Catherine. Listen to this.
On both of the York girls not being particularly friendly to Catherine. We all know the situation on the church steps, but it goes far deeper than that, and I'm not allowed to say at this particular point.
And as if things couldn't get worse for Andrew, pictures of him. Now, I would have thought this is one of Eugenie's boys, but the pictures were taken back in 2011, and he's playing ball with a boy, and the ball is a boob. It's a booby ball, and they're crawling around on the rug, and they're playing, and then they're sitting together, on the bed. And the question is, whose kid is this? Who is he playing with? This picture was taken at Royal Lodge. Look at the carpet. Yeah, look at the carpet. But I would wonder whose child this is. No, so where was everybody? Well, Eugenie was on a skiing holiday with her husband, the children, the nannies, all of that place. And where was Sarah? Well, She was laying low in a recovery clinic in Zurich, Switzerland. That's 13,000 pounds a day. She left just after Christmas and she was there until the end of January. So the question is, who was funding that trip? Who bankrolled that? Now, the articles insinuate that she's been there before and she's built up a strong relationship with them, so maybe they just let her stay for free. Now, a source did come out, as far as Andrew goes, saying that they want him in jail so they can murder him, just like they did Jeffrey Epstein. Now, don't forget, Jeffrey died in 2019. Supposedly, it was a suicide. However, when they did his autopsy, they said that he actually was strangled. So there's a lot of debate as to what actually happened to Jeffrey Epstein. As I told you the other day, Andrew is accused of sharing an official document. It's a report that he gave a Treasury briefing to a personal contact. He shared it with Jonathan Rowland, a business connection whose father, David, took over part of the failing Icelandic bank. So there's more pressure that he misused his public office. In the meantime, this picture came out, which I'm assuming is real. Now, for those of you who don't know, Peter Mandelson is a British former Labour Party politician. He was a diplomat. He was a member of parliament. He served with Tony Blair, Gordon Brown, a minister without a portfolio. He was Secretary of State for Northern Ireland, business secretary, blah, blah, blah. Well, I showed you the other day that the king did not want to be Andrew to be the envoy. And this is the guy that pushed it through and said Andrew should be. Well, now with all the Jeffrey Epstein emails going around, he has a company called Global Counsel, and it has collapsed completely. Benjamin Wegg-Prosser, who founded the business with Epstein, resigned after the emails came out. He's also understood to have met with Epstein and shared the company's business plan with him while he was under house arrest in New York. And high-profile clients have abandoned the business since all of this has come out. Now, in the middle of all of this, another email came out saying that Epstein tried to secure £1 million in cash for Andrew to help him with a proposed deal. It was a 10-year partnership with American investment firm Cantor Fitzgerald, brokered with the help of David Stern, right? It's the same names over and over and over again. Now, in the meantime, moving on to Harry, they're saying that he's very frustrated because he's being compared to Andrew. And now they're saying Andrew's arrest offers insight into how Harry has viewed the family's internal fault line for years. They're saying, he was so frustrated by the comparisons. It was never fair to lump them together. Harry served his country and did the job well. Yes, so did Andrew. I mean, Andrew hurt his family. So did Harry. I mean, the comparisons are real. You have two POSs in the family. They've both lost their military titles. They've both lost their patronages. Yeah, I'd say they are a lot alike. They should be lumped together. Well, if I was Harry, I'd be worried about the seismic restructuring of the British monarchy that's coming down the pike, because that's absolutely going to happen. They are going to accelerate sweeping reforms. They're going to modernize the institution. They're going to have financial transparency, and they're going to strip titles from members of the family that are not active working royal members. Those are the reforms that are going to be announced. The timing will not be an accident with all this ongoing legal pressure. The public doesn't want to see any more of this crap. And so the result of this is that Harry and Andrew, which are two different problems, are going to have the same solution: a clean institutional severance that allows the monarchy to draw a clear line between the working and the non-working royals. I mean, Harry, Meghan, and the kids are probably going to lose their prince and princess titles, their HRH titles. They don't need them. And, Harry's booking for that taxpayer-funded royal security. But it's very hard to justify security paid for the taxpayers when you're not a working royal. And many of the working royals don't even have proper security. You have plenty of money. You could fund your own security. And when you're traveling to countries more dangerous than Britain without getting security paid for by, the British, it's a sticky wicket. But what's clear is that the British monarchy is heading towards the most significant restructuring in decades. Harry, Meghan, and the children are going to be collateral damage, which is why they're not making a peep right now about what's going on with Andrew. Not one word. We're going to twist tracks now. This is going to be a little odd. Stick with me. That new book that's coming out has come up with some more information about Harry and Meghan while they were still within the family, the bullying. They're saying that Harry was actually really rude to his grandmother for 10 minutes in one of the meetings before the wedding. Well, William saw what was happening and apologized on behalf of Harry on more than one occasion. And in the middle of all of this, William and Catherine spent a great deal of time fostering a very happy, relaxed working atmosphere, and it was all falling apart with staff leaving. And, William and Catherine were fearful of the impact not only of Harry and Meghan's, morale on the team, but would they be able to work with them moving forward? It's come out now that 2 months after the wedding, William and Catherine had Harry and Meghan over to clear the air, but neither Harry nor Meghan would concede that they were responsible for the departure of Meghan's 2 PAs or the unhappy atmosphere that the staff were reporting. Nobody wanted to be on duty with Harry and Meghan. Now, before we move on to our last story of the day, I had to show this to you. Meghan put some more pictures up on her as ever. It's the exact same thing. Oh, pour your champagne slowly over a raspberry. This looks very unappetizing to me. So the first thing I noticed is that the glasses that she's pouring into are not champagne glasses. Wrong kind of glass. Number 2, her hands. Take a little bit closer look. Those appear to me to be press-on nails. Not very chic when you're going for high level. Number 3, her hands are starting to look a little worn out. You know what I'm saying? Look, her hands look like mine. Number 4, she's barely dressed again. Number 5, there's something weird going on with her thumb. And number 6, look at her right upper arm there. Yeah, not very flattering at all. Let's move on to our last story for today. Harry has put out a statement about the Well Child Awards. Now, this is a patronage back in the UK. He makes a statement once a year to get nominees for the Well Child Award. Then he flies over once a year for the Well Child Award. And other than that, you don't hear anything else about this charity. So he puts out this statement. I want you guys to pay close attention. These are the actual pictures from the video that went along with his statement. Pay close attention.
Every year, one of the moments I look forward to the most is spending time with the children and families that I meet through the Well Child Awards. Now, these children and young people are living with complex medical needs, challenges that most of us can barely imagine. And yet, time and again, they meet life with positivity, courage, humour, and an extraordinary joy for living. In their smiles, their determination, and their kindness, they show us what strength truly looks like. And the Well Child Awards is a truly special evening. It's about celebrating these remarkable young people. It's about recognizing the siblings who so often put their own needs aside to care for a brother or sister. And of course, it's about honoring the parents, the carers, nurses, and professionals who give so much of themselves every single day with dedication, love, and compassion. But these awards can only happen with your help. So, if you know a child who learned hospital routines before playground games, a sibling who quietly became a carer, or a parent or professional whose life revolves around constant selfless care, please nominate them for a Well Child Award. They might be a friend in a different part of the United Kingdom or a stranger you see in your community every single week. We want to hear about them. By nominating, you're not just recognizing an achievement, you're telling a story. You're shining a light on extraordinary bravery, on resilience and kindness that's happening in communities across the United Kingdom every day, often unseen and too often uncelebrated. So thank you for supporting Well Child. And please get nominating. And we very much hope to see some of you at the 2026 Well Child Awards supported by GSK.
So here you have a man who puts out this speech about valuing and praising siblings and how they help out while he's attacking his own constantly. This is a man who talks about unity and compassion while crapping on everybody around him. Now, let me also point out to you that in every single picture from the very first time he became the patron of this charity till now. He is in every single picture, because the truth is, this isn't about Well Child. This is about Harry. This is a good PR exercise for Harry. This is charity for clout. The goal is to build a personal brand or image as a good person rather than focusing on the cause. And recording himself gives him immediate validation, which can make the act feel more like the giver's ego than what the beneficiary needs. You get what I'm saying? It's performative content. It was done for the purpose of creating content, not to help this charity, in my opinion. Nobody needs a 20-minute statement from Harry on how great it is to nominate people. You get where I'm going? Harry is doing this for Harry because Harry needs good PR. That's why Harry's doing this. Oh my God. Okay, I definitely want your comments, so don't forget to leave them. Don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe button and the bell for all notifications. Then go down into the description box where you'll find the link to my Twitter, my Gettr, my Rumble, my email, a link to my second channel, a link to my father's book, which is up for sale on Amazon, as well as a link to my Amazon wish list and a physical address. For those of you who have donated to my coffee fund, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.